I remember after coming out of my 10-year relationship with someone that I considered to be narcissistic, I felt frustrated. I felt lost. And I felt frustrated because I felt lost. Because I was such an organized woman, I had my whole life planned out. Part of my life plan was to be in a long-term relationship, a long-term marriage, and when that marriage fell apart, I felt like, okay, what now? I had all these other areas of my life that was organized, but now this just completely threw a wrench into the situation, the loss of this relationship with someone that I knew there was no hope for it to come back. And I felt like, okay, I have to find myself again. I have to figure out, how do I start picking up the pieces? How do I find who Naila is again? So if that sounds like where you are right now, you're in the right place, stick around for this episode because I'm going to give you some steps, some tips on how to find yourself again after a toxic or narcissistic relationship. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Naila Abdullah. I'm a mental health therapist turned toxic relationship coach. And after overcoming my own personal experiences with toxic and narcissistic relationships, I now work with women like you, helping you to heal, to rebuild yourself, move on after the impact of a toxic and narcissistic relationship, and most importantly, making sure that you get the necessary transformation so that you don't ever end up back in another situation like that again. So if that sounds like something that you need, that you're interested in, then stick around and let's get into this topic. The first step that I encourage you to do is, one, get a pen and paper. So if you're watching this while you're doing something, I get it if you can't get a pen and paper now. However, at some point, I do encourage you to come back to this episode with your pen and paper because we need to see things visually. In order for things to be sealed in our psyche, it's helpful for us to see it visually. So get a pen and paper and make a list of all of your accomplishments. Okay, and this can be the accomplishments that society tells us are accomplishments and that are accomplishments of success, like academic degrees and buying materialism things, right? That's fine too, because those are things that you have been able to do for yourself. But I also want you to make a list of different challenges that you have overcame, because those are also accomplishments, right? And the purpose of doing this is that you can visually see the incredible person that you are, the resilient person that you are. And not only things that you have done before the toxic or narcissistic relationship, but also things that you have accomplished during the relationship. Because what happens in these relationships is that you start to sometimes doubt yourself. You start to sometimes question who you are, right? So part of finding yourself is starting to track the truth. Let's call this activity tracking the truth, tracking the true you. Who are you? What are the things that you have already been able to overcome? What are the things that you have been able to do for yourself, to do for others? Any accomplishment, big or small, but you need to visually see this so you can remind yourself that yes, I may be hurting now, I may be a bit lost now, but I've done great things before. I've even done great things during the toxic relationship, and I can continue to do great things after. Let's track the true you. Another part of finding yourself is also nurturing your relationships, right? Rebuilding your relationships. Because as much as society likes to push on us that, we're by ourselves in this world, we are human beings. We are meant to have companionships, right? To have friendships with friends, friendships with family members. Now, here's the catch to this. This is not just about clinging on to all your friends and family. This is also, finding yourself is also an opportunity for you to do a cleansing, right? So now you have cleansed yourself of a toxic relationship, but you also want to, let me say this, cleanse yourself of a toxic romantic relationship. You also want to cleanse yourself of unhealthy friendships, unhealthy relationships with family members. So you want to take some time to assess your relationships. You want to look at all of your relationships to say, okay, I'm in the process of finding myself after this traumatic experience that I've been through. Part of making sure you don't go through that again is also looking at how you handle other relationships. So you want to assess what friendships that I have right now that are healthy for me, right? That are helping me to be the person that I want to be, that's helping me to grow, right? You want to look at relationships, family relationships, friendships that somewhat mimic the toxic romantic relationship you just got out of. Because a lot of times our relationships, romantic relationships, come from certain experiences from other relationships, in particular family relationships, right? And that's one of the challenges that people don't realize comes along with the end of a romantic relationship with someone who's toxic and narcissistic, is sometimes it also involves losing other relationships, right? Because there's sometimes a pattern that you have of having unhealthy relationships, right? So you want to assess those relationships. Part of finding yourself, I know it sounds nice, I want to find myself, right? But it's really about recreating, renovating your environment, right? Recreating and renovating your environment and the people that are around you, the people that are influencing you, the people that are impacting you, right? You have to watch who you're surrounding yourself with and their energy, right? What type of energy are they bringing around you? So assess your relationships, friendships, family relationships. Make sure you're looking at what's healthy, what's not healthy. You want to start distancing yourself from. You can try to change it if you think there's potential that the person can make some changes in the way that they interact with you and what they bring to your life, right? But if they can't, you may want to start distancing yourself a bit. And the ones that are healthy, start nurturing those, right? Gradually. You don't want to be forceful, right? You want everything to be organic, but start to nurture those. That is going to help you to find yourself by having healthy people around you. The third step to finding yourself after a toxic relationship is to give yourself a grace period from being goal-oriented, right? Most women that I have worked with, even myself, are very goal-oriented, right? We are very driven, right? And that's a good thing. However, when you are coming out of a toxic and narcissistic relationship, it's like coming out of war, right? You are exhausted, you are drained, right? You need time to recover. Okay? If you see a veteran coming back from war, you are not going to tell him, hey, tomorrow you got a job, get started, get up at 6 p.m., go to work, do this, do that. No, you're going to give them time to recover from that war, to get therapy, to do whatever it is they need to do, get their physical checkup, whatever it is they need to do to recover from that. And it is the same thing of coming out of a toxic relationship. It is not a normal breakup. Okay, you need time to recover. So I know you're goal-oriented, and sometimes you might even want to jump into those goals because you want to distract yourself from the pain. I understand, but use that time to do other things. Okay, you can do things to, yes, distract yourself at times, right? You don't always need to be in a space of analyzing, assessing, and work in trying to heal everything. It's not a race, right? But you do want to take some time to give yourself a break, okay? To nurture yourself. Think of it that way. You are coming out of war. You need time to just recover. And you don't want to mask your pain fully either with distracting yourself with new goals, with starting a new college degree or getting a new job or starting a new project. Right? Because what will happen is that you will now forget about working on yourself, and you might end up right back in another situation like that again because you did not do the work. So don't distract yourself with all your goals. Give yourself a grace period to just take a break and nurture yourself. The fourth step adds on to the last one I just talked about, which is to gradually find things that brings you joy. Okay, so again, this is not about masking your pain and masking your attention with superficial entertainment, right? Like going out clubbing every night or going to the bar every night or whatever it is. There's nothing wrong with that, but you don't want to overdo anything because then you're masking. No, you want to find things that brings you joy, that can bring you laughter, but also helps in your personal development, right? Find books that helps you in your personal development. The point of this is that you are bringing yourself joy, but you are also giving yourself the opportunity for growth, right? To change the parts of you that got you in a toxic relationship in the first place, because this is not a coincidence, okay? That is one big mistake a lot of people have is, oh, it just happened to me. Why does this just keep happening to me? It's not just happening. It's not just a coincidence. You are being chosen by these people for a particular reason, and you are accepting their behavior for a reason. You're sticking around for a reason, right? There is a reason for it, and that's not to blame, but it's about accountability and realizing there's parts of you, not everything about you, there's parts of you though that has to be worked on, that has to change to make sure it doesn't happen again. Because if we don't work on those parts of us, we will end up back in that situation again. Because let's be honest, these people exist. They're not going anywhere. They're going to cross your path, whether it be at the supermarket, at work, at the gas station, wherever. These people are always going to cross your path. And you just want to make sure, like, I am a healed person where I understand where I went wrong. I understand where my perspectives were flawed, right? That allowed me to allow someone in my life like this and to keep them around for so long, right? So these are some of the things you want to work on as you are gradually finding things that you enjoy, right? So personal development and things that are also fun. Again, this is not about masking, but it's about using some of your time to work on yourself, to heal, but also to have some joy, some fun, some laughter. The bottom line here is that you're an amazing person, which is why the toxic person picked you. And if it's your first experience or your 10th experience, then it's why toxic people keep picking you, right? Yes, I said picking you. Like I said, it's not a coincidence, all right? But as long as you implement some of these steps that I've talked about, I can guarantee that you are going to start finding yourself again. You are going to start creating a healthy environment for yourself. Implement some of these steps. Watch this episode as much as you need to. Take as many notes as you need to, and start to gradually implement it into your life. And let me know how it's going. Put in the comments below or send me an email. My email address is in the description box below. And let me know how this is going for you. As you are working on yourself, I invite you to get access to my guide in the description box below. It is mistakes that I made in my personal experience with toxic relationships, and I'm giving you some tips on how you can avoid making those relationships. And this guide is for you if you are still in a toxic relationship or you have exited the toxic relationship. You know, this guide can still help you get to a place where you make sure you don't end up in that situation again. So go ahead and get access to that. It's free. Let me know how it was helpful for you. And I hope this episode was helpful for you. Again, don't hesitate to put in the comments below how you're implementing these things, what you're doing, or if you have any questions about some of the steps that I've given you. Go ahead and share this episode with someone that you think needs this. Unfortunately, most people I've spoken to know at least one person who is either in a toxic relationship or have been in a toxic relationship. So go ahead and share this with them, because I'm sure there's enough people out there that can benefit from this. And I'll see you in the next episode.